chaos for me breeds images. I generally try and work regularly, because when people talk about inspiration, I think what is called inspiration only comes really from regular work.
You didn't go to art school, did you?
No, thank God. I would have been taught all those techniques that I don't want to know. I mean, I want to find my own technique, because if you're trying to do something that's rather different and new, you can't use the old techniques which have already been used. You make your own technique.
So how did you learn? And how did you learn to make your own technique? By doing it?
Trial and error. By just trying to do it. So
when you come to a canvas, have you an idea in your head as to what the finished image is going to be before you start?
I have an overall image of what I want to do, but it's in the working that it develops. And you see, it's a very difficult problem, this now, as I'm a figurative painter, and I think that that you can't any longer make illustration, because it's done so much better by the camera and by the cinema. So you have to really concentrate on making, you have to, I thought about it very clearly this morning, wrote it down, and I put it in my pocket. Now I can't remember what I was going to say. Can I use it?
Yes, do.
What I thought of saying. And I just said, not illustration of reality, but to create images which are concentration of reality and a shorthand of sensation.
Do you do drawings beforehand?
No.
You go straight onto the canvas?
Yes.
With the paint?
Yes.
What's the advantage of that?
Well, because I find if I drew it, and then I should just be making an illustration of the drawing. So it's so much better to immediately attack the canvas with the paint.
What you like to do, I believe, is to somehow let your unconscious take over. Is that right?
Well, that's as far as one can. I would like it to, because after all, there's this deep sea, which we call the unconscious, which we know nothing about. I always hope the most wonderful images will emerge from it.
At the same time, though, you believe in things being deeply ordered, don't you?
Yes.
So what?
I believe in a deeply ordered chaos.
And how do you
my work.
How, when you're in front of the canvas, how do you try to arrive at that? What do you go through to try to arrive at that?
Well, because the unconscious things that I try to, the images that I try to make, I still, at the same time, want them to look very ordered.
But you don't want to be in control of them.
Well, this is a great problem. In the very first place, when they come up, you're not in control of them. But when the image seems to emerge, then to make it, you have to control it. But in control, you see, this is where with painting, it's so difficult, painting in oils, is you make an image and it's changing all the time. And then it's to do with your own instinct and sensibility, which turns it one way or another.
Although I've always looked at photographs, I've also always thought of the human body outside the photograph. And I think there could be an overemphasis on the photograph in my work, because the last thing I want it to be is photographic in any way. I only use photographs as I would use a dictionary in a foreign language. Art is almost like a long affair with images, objects, sensations, and what you might call the passions. But everything escapes you.
So today I am having diarrhea soup. Yummy. I think it's beef soup with bits in it. Yeah, it's pretty watery. Doesn't taste too good, but sacrifices, people, sacrifices. Yep, definitely tastes like diarrhea. Right, so as you saw, I was working on this painting a bit previously. Now the secret to using image transfers is to make sure that you burnish the image onto your surface pretty well. Now obviously with canvas, you know, it's not a stable structure. It has bounce, so it's pretty hard to burnish. So it's just best to flip it over like so and put it on a flat, clean surface and just burnish it like that, or however you want to burnish it. I just do the free and easy burnish. Some people might want to do the slow and gentle burnish. It's just completely up to you. So I do that about every, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm probably going to leave it for a total time of about, I don't know, 20 minutes. I think it really depends on how thick you apply your glue. But you really have to experiment to find out for yourself. It's really hard for me to explain how much glue to put on there, but I just put a thin coating on there. And apply the transfer. I'm going to let it sit and then pull it off. But I used Edgar Allan Poe stencil that I made for the image underneath, because I sort of wanted to have this layered idea of, you know, he's a bit hidden behind the skeleton. I don't know exactly where this painting's going, but it's been in my head for, I don't know, for a couple of weeks to actually do a larger version of my ATC cards, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. I wanted to show you quickly, got to keep everything in 10 minutes so I can't be talking forever. Jim Dine. Now, Jim Dine is one of my absolute favourite artists. And this book's called Some Drawings. It's worth getting, let me tell you. Just the way he works on paper, it's just like, oh my god, amazing. And he'll start, you know, he might start from a central piece and then keep on adding paper. Like he might start, I don't know if you can see it, you can see he's added onto it, there's a join here. But he just keeps on adding on. He'll start a composition and then just keep adding and adding. And his mark making and just everything about his work just is, for me, where, you know, I would love to be. See this one? He just keeps on adding on bits of paper. But his sense of space and composition where he puts them on the paper, it's just like poetry, visual poetry. And look at this, the positive and negative space. It's just absolutely beautiful. I was introduced to him at university, and I can tell you what, that was the best thing that I learned. Almost, well not almost, but one of the best things. And you know, sometimes it takes years to build these surfaces up with crayons and charcoals and pencils, and just goes over and over and rubs them back and just builds up history. And then scratches into them. Amazing man, amazing book, amazing art. Just really inspiring for me. And maybe for you too. Yeah.